Okay, so good morning. 20 minutes of happy feet. So we're going to take one of your socks, or what's also really nice is these sort of things that you put in between your feet. I'll bring it a little closer. That's what normally goes in between your toes when you do your nail varnish. Okay? But it works just as well with a sock. These ones are just little silicone things. So pick yourself a foot and then you're going to thread the sock through. So it's like a little weaving pattern. So threading the sock through the toes. There we go, I'm just going to give you a little close up. See how that's threaded through? It looks quite weird from the top as well. But what it does, it spreads the bones out. So we're just going to leave that sock in one foot. Let that to do its thing. And then we're just going to gently mobilize the ankle. The other one, obviously. And we're going to go through all the movement the foot has. So we remember we've got 26 bones in the foot, 27 in the hand. Hence, there's so much there, so the foot can really articulate well. And these days, because we're wearing shoes most of the time, feet get really lazy, or it's not their fault really, because they're being trapped in, aren't they? So quite often, problems that are higher up in the body are actually down to lack of foot mobility. Change direction of the circle. So you've got loads of little muscles going on in your foot, but you also have got a big slab of fascia down the middle, which is a tensor fascia latae, which often gets inflamed. That's a really thick strap of fascia and it's connected to the rest of your body. So if anything's not functioning in the foot, it has got an ongoing effect. So if you just go through the movements of the foot, so you also got flex and point, or dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Yeah, so this is the obvious movement, which probably most of us are still doing when we're walking. But then again, some people just plonk their feet and they're not really rolling through. Okay. Then, as we talked about this in class, you've also got eversion and inversion. So if you put the foot down, if you roll to the outside of the foot, so the sole comes up towards the mid of the body, that's your inversion, because the sole inverts. And then we go the other way around, and that's then your eversion. Okay, so just do a few of those. And we're looking at the forefoot there, yeah, so this bit is up, outside is up. And you already see how this has got an ongoing effect on the knee, because you cannot hold your knee still and evert and invert your foot. It's just not happening, isn't it? So for example, if somebody's really inverted, that's me, see how my knee goes to the outside, okay? Most people will really evert and see how the knee comes in. So if the forefoot falls in, the knee will knock in. That can't be helped, okay? And then remember, if you look at the heel, you've got your pronation and yeah, so just try rocking the heel in and out. It will sort of have the same effect. So keep the forefoot planted and rock the heel in and out. And you can see again by the ankle what's happening, how that feels different in the calf. And you might notice when I push my heel inwards, it's actually the outside of the foot here that comes up, so it goes across diagonally. So my heel's rocking inwards, but the outside little toe side is coming up. And if I go the other way around and push the heel that way, the big toe side is coming up. So there's that sort of cross connection. Okay? And when we walk, it'll go through a certain point of let's call it rolling. So we never just go forwards, plonking forwards, it ripples through. It's quite complex, but you know, if the shoes are too tight or we're always in shoes, that articulation cannot happen. Okay, let's swap the sock over to the other foot. You could even do a double wrap. Oh, I like that. That's it. Okay, we're going to start with circling the ankle. Might get a few clicks there. And changing direction. So actually when you circle, you'll be going through loads of movements. You go through that inversion, eversion, pronation, supination, and the plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. So we mustn't be lazy with our circles. Okay, foot down, and let's invert and evert. If you later on have a look at your shoes, see which side you're wearing out on your shoes, you can see exactly which way your foot is falling. And it might be different on both feet. My left one's always more worn out on the front, by the little toe, considerably more. So I know by looking at that, that's just something wrong going on my left foot. Okay, now keep the forefoot still and rock the heel in, so pronating and supinating. So they're just very subtle ways to mobilize. Okay, take your stretchy band. Let's stick with this foot because this one didn't have the sock in that long. Now we're going to do some circles again. Doesn't really matter where your leg is as long as you circle. But I want you to really focus on that you're going through pointed foot, then you banana it in as much as you can, flex as much as you can, and then the other side is really hard to actually mobilize. Okay, oh, click. So pull the big toe in. I'm now in inversion. So the sole is pointing to the mid. Coming to the center, pulling the little toe around to me and then circle around. So you're really getting the most out of that circle with the resistance. Depending what band you've got, whoops, that didn't work so well, you can even get your toes going. So make sure you're not just circling the leg, think foot. So this is where your shin bones, the tibia and fibia, meet the ankle. That's where you're circling from. And then all the other bones, not circle, mobilize along. Change direction. Okay, good. If you now just put the band over the toes, and we're just going to do some toe movements. So I'm flexing the foot and I'm pushing through the ball, and then the toes flipped over. And I'm curling the toes, and etc. So pushing through the ball, toes point, curling the toes up, and they're actually spread as well. So when I'm curling my toes up, they're spread wide, and I'm flexing the foot. Nice. Okay, let's swap to the other foot. So sock out. And we're going to start with circling. So take your time, nice and slow. Getting every corner in. Corner, I'm not sure that the ankle has got corners, but you know what I mean. And the other way round. So just really analyze which direction the foot doesn't like going and see where you can get a little bit more movement in that direction. I'm making sure you're not just circling the leg around, it is the foot, the ankle. Okay, ready for toes. My band is stuck together now. That's working well. So toes in. And pushing through the toes, pointing, curling the toes up, spreading them wide, and flexing the foot. Push, point, curl, spread, and flex. You got it. It just hope the stretchy band doesn't snap now. We're going straight into our faces. And obviously you've got the choice to play with the resistance. I'm using a very soft band at the moment. If I'd be using my other one, this would be considerably harder. Okay, let's put that to the side for the time being. And then we're just going to take the toes and give them a pull so that you might have some crackers. So each individual toe, pull it long. That's it. So if you think your toes are like your spine, you know how we always lengthen the spine to create more space, we're going to do the same thing with our feet. So massage in between the gaps and try and pull everything long. So I'm really digging my thumb into my sole, into the gap between those rows of bones, creating space, and then from the top I use my other 2 or 3 fingers. Just got to make sure your nails aren't too long. Or any which way around. Just get your fingers in there, creating space. It's actually really nice if you can get somebody to do that for you, because you just lie back and relax. Okay, and I take little toe, big toe, and just wiggle the foot from side to side. Because that's the movement it normally doesn't do. So you've done that very controlled with the band. Now you're just going to wiggly-boo it. That's it. Other side. So pulling the toes long. No clicks on this side. And then get in between the gaps. Well, it's a really nice thing to do if you're watching telly in the evenings. You know, just get the sock out and start prodding. Okay, and wiggly-boo. Loosening everything up. That's why standing on a wobbling board is really good, because all those sort of little muscles get woken up. So barefoot walking is really good. Okay, so we've got various things to play with. I've got a selection of balls here, which is also quite nice. So you could just have the ball underneath and circle around. Oops, now with the ball it depends, because the tennis balls all come in different sort of, how shall I say, softnesses. So I like a really hard one. You might find this works better when you stood up, because you get a lot more pressure on it. But it's just really nice for the sole of the feet. Oops, off it goes. And then I've got a spiky one. Oh, that's nice. I also used to have a footsie roller, which I cannot find. But with a ball, if you stood up, you can sort of really go from heel to toes. It's really nice. Oh, yeah, I really like the spiky bit. It's a bit like, you know, when you start itching somewhere and then the itch moves around and you need to itch everywhere. I can't stop rolling over those spikes now. Try the other foot. Yeah, there's lots of room for playing there. So at the moment I'm putting a lot of pressure onto it. I'm going really slow, all the way from heels to toes. Or you could do less pressure and just go in the middle, do circles, just over the toes. Okay, so really recommend the ball. If you've got a rolling pin or one of these foam rollers where the little bit comes out, that's great too. What I like about this one, it sort of really models itself on the feet. So you could go, but I'm going to do everything in Inversion now, so I'm going to try keeping the inside of the sole on the roller, so that means your knees knock in. Oh, that's a lot of pressure on the knees. Or you could do the other way around, so I'm just going to have the outside on. See how your knees come out, see how this affects the body. Or try totally parallel. And again, if you do this stood up, so this is a little bit like the footsie roller, you can really apply a lot of pressure. So with a rolling pin this works well, because obviously it's wooden. At least I think they're still wooden, there might be some plastic ones, but it'll be harder than the ball. And again, I can just go to the inside, nice, or to the outside. I think I'm going to keep this out and it lie around. Yeah, so my favourite so far is the spiky ball and this roller. Okay, good. Let's see whether we have good foot articulations. You're going to take your stretchy band and you're going to lay it out along in front of you. And what you're going to do is now you're going to try scramble it together with your feet. So remember how we did pushing through the ball of the foot, pointing and then bringing it back in. So we're going to do that and see whether you can scramble up the stretchy band. So keep the heel on the ground and you're just rippling through the foot, bring the stretchy band closer to you. It's really strengthening for the arch as well. Make sure you get your toes right up to the ceiling when you release, so you get that last bit of the ripple. So toes up, spread wide because you'll have a better grip. It's like one of those machines at the pier where you go down to get the soft toy. So you've got to spread wide. This way you wish you had a shorter band. Okay, when you've done that one, start on the other foot. I've still got another 30 centimeters to go. I'm not very good with this actually, although there's 45 years of dance training. I should have obviously done more of this. Other side. Right. And you might find one foot does this much more happily than the other. Yeah, this is the lazy foot. This is much harder already. I can feel this on the sole of my foot. So my muscles on the left are obviously really slack. So I hope you all have a pen ready for the next exercise. If not, then once you've scrambled up your band, run and fetch a pen and a piece of paper. Excellent. All right, we're done with that. Right, find your ball and then see whether you can pick up the ball with your toes. Whoa! Things you haven't tried before you go live. Maybe from standing. Ah! Okay, from standing might work. Got it. Okay, I'm going to try my tennis ball, different surface. Oh, that's hard. I recommend golf ball size. No, can't do the tennis ball. No. Okay. Right, sitting back down, pen, paper. So, see if you can pick up your pen with your foot. No, can't do it. Almost. Oh, you're all much better than me. Okay, you have got cheating allowance, so you can use both feet. See whether you can get. Oh, got it. Ta-da! Okay, so what I want you to do now, imagine your right foot is your hand. So you somehow need to rearrange the pen in between your big toe and next toe so that you could write with it. You're allowed to use the other foot to help. Okay, and if you've got a lid, then you obviously need to take the lid off. Not coming off. So I'm holding my pen now like I would be for writing. Then you take your piece of paper and you're going to write your name on that piece of paper. If you can't manage your name, then just do 3 crosses. And imagine people paint like this. There we go. This is my name. Oh, you've written loads. Okay, now you could do this with a pen between each of the gaps of the toes. We haven't got the time for that now, but we are now going to swap the pen over to the other foot. And write your surname. Oh, that's weird. Left brain not working. I also can't see what I'm writing because the foot is in the way. Yeah, that is really quite weird. I haven't really thought about that, but my foot is actually in the way, so I can't see what I'm writing with the left. Obviously much more uncoordinated on the left. I'm running out of paper. Okay, and then you need to put the lid back on the pen if you had a pen with lid. No, I think it's the wrong way around, isn't it? A little bit of cheat here. Okay, so a little bit of foot fun for today. Homework for next week is draw a picture with your foot. Okay, but the rolling and the articulation is really good. The last bit was just a little bit of fun, but I'd like to have a nice picture, that'd be great.